we're going to get started talking about Google Drive and how it can save you time in the classroom, because I know that you just have so much extra time for all that paperwork that you have to do in the classroom every single day. So I think that if you're new to Google Drive, this is really going to be revolutionary for you. And if you're just starting out with Google Drive, there are some things that you can do there that maybe you're not aware of. And if you're a Google Drive expert, go ahead and let us know in the comments what your favorite Google Drive tips or tricks are. So I'm going to let you know one of the reasons why I chose this broadcast. First of all, it's been requested by many, many people. It's one of my top requested broadcasts, and I haven't done it yet. I was waiting for Facebook to come out with a screen sharing feature, but they haven't done that yet. I'm sure it'll be here as soon as I finish recording this today, but I was kind of waiting for them to roll out a new feature, and they haven't yet. So I decided to go ahead because it is such a hot topic and a really big request. And I think if you start your year off with it, it will really make a big difference in the amount of time that you spend on paperwork. So I thought I would go ahead and do that. Another reason I created this is because many of you know I run pre-K pages where we have many, many printables to download. Some are free and some are for purchase. And we receive hundreds and hundreds, and that's not an exaggeration. That even might be an underestimate. But we receive hundreds and hundreds of requests every year from people who have lost their files, whether that's from a computer crash, a move to a new district or classroom, whatever the reason may be, but they don't have their files anymore. So I've been trying to teach people how to use Google Drive so that they don't have to worry about anything that they download ever being lost again, because they can save it to Google Drive. Now, I have my own personal Google Drive account. It has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of documents in it, and I have not even made a dent in the amount of storage that I have. So that's why I prefer it over those other paid type services. The paid ones only offer you so much space for free, and then you have to pay for it. And paying for cloud storage when you're just an individual, not a business, is kind of like when we used to pay for email way back in the day. Does anyone ever remember paying for AOL? Yeah, now that seems ridiculous to us, right? So paying for cloud storage is really, paying for cloud storage was hot for a while. And now that we have Google Drive, there is no need to pay for any kind of storage service. So save yourself some money and move to Google Drive. I don't work for it at all. I just think it's a fabulous product. And the fact that it's free makes it for me and all teachers, right? So let's take a look. I am going to screen share with you all tonight, and hopefully we can take a look at my Google Drive. All right, let's try it out. Well, what do you know? Look at that. It worked. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is it's free. So if you don't have a Google Drive account, go to google.com and get a free Google account. And when you want to look for Google Drive, here, let's open a new one here. All you have to do if you're logged into Google is to go up here to this little grid, and this little symbol here, this little triangle that's green, yellow, and blue, that's your Google Drive. So click on that. Okay, so once you're here, we're going to start off really simple, and we are going to create a folder. So here you can see I have created these folders here in my Google Drive account. Now you can see them listed like this, or you can go over here to the 4 squares, and now you can see them in a grid view. Whatever works best for you, you decide how you want to see it. So let's say I decided to create a new folder. So I'm going to go up here to the blue button that says New, and I'm going to click on the plus sign folder. And I'm going to give it a name. And let's call it dinosaurs. There we go. Now I have a brand new folder called dinosaurs. So that's how easy it is to create a folder. I've showed you how you can view the folders in this type of a format if you prefer, okay? And you can also sort them by date modified, okay, if you prefer. I like to sort them by name. Okay, so that's going to kind of alphabetize them for you. Now here's what you can do. So let's say you downloaded something from Pre-K Pages and you wanted to save it in the cloud. Why would you want to do that? And let me tell you why you want to do that. Because if you save it in Google Drive, it will be accessible to you from anywhere. It will be accessible to you on your home computer. You can use it, you can access it on a tablet. You can access it on a phone, okay? And you can access it on a computer at school. So anywhere you are, if you're on vacation and you're using the computer in the lobby of your hotel, you can log on to Google Drive. So no matter where you go, all your files about apples, all your files about bears, all your files about colors will be instantly accessible to you using your Google login credentials. So that is why you want to have a Google Drive account. So let's say you downloaded something from Pre-K Pages and now you want to save it in one of these files so you can access it anywhere you are. So let's go into Apples. And all I have to do, look at that, drag and drop files right here. So I can open up a file from down here that I have, and I can drag it right into this area on my screen. So let me do that. Let me pull something up over here. And let me throw it right in there. Now this has nothing to do with apples, but you can see that it just went right into my Apple folder. So now when I go back to my drive, I can see all my folders here. If I click on the Apple folder, then I can see the files inside. So can you see how beneficial this is to you when you're downloading things from the internet or just saving documents that you need? This is going to revolutionize the way that you access and store your documents so that you never have to worry about computer crashes or backup hard drives or whatever that is. Just put everything you have in Google Drive so that when your computer dies or you spill water on it or one of your kids drops it on the floor or something, and you have to buy a new one, you don't have to contact everybody that you bought things from or find all the places you downloaded things. You can just log into Google Drive. It's just that easy. So that right there is going to save you tons and tons and tons of time. So the next thing I want to show you is how to share a folder. So I've created this one. So for any of you who might be principals or directors of childcare facilities or work in any capacity with other people, this is going to be really great for you. So I remember way back in the day, we would have a staff meeting, and if one of us was absent, if one of the staff members was absent during a staff meeting, then it would be our responsibility to find someone who took notes from the staff meeting, and then we would have to get those notes and find out what things were said and things that we needed to turn in and all this kind of stuff. And it was a real pain because not everyone takes good handout or good notes. So now you don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's look real quick in the staff meeting handouts here. So you can actually open a new Google Doc that's like a Word document. And that's what I've done here. And I typed my notes from the staff meeting. This is a pretend staff meeting. And you can just type them in there. So this is great. And then what you can do is share this folder with all of your staff. So the way that you share it is you right click on it and you select the little head with the plus symbol. That means share it. Okay. And you type the addresses or names of whoever you'd like to share it with. I'm going to share it with myself. And you can decide right here if they can just view it or if they can edit it. So let's say these are notes that were taken by the school secretary and we only want people to view them, not change them. So we can send these or we can get a shareable link, okay? So if I click on that, now I can email this to all of my staff members, and all of my staff members can click on these notes and read them. How amazing is that? So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to send. And now everybody that I have shared this folder with, so you're going to want to add all your staff members to that folder. Everyone that I've shared this folder with can now open the folder and they can view these notes from our staff meeting. How super cool is that? That is amazing. So that is really going to revolutionize any kind of meetings that you have, whether that's a staff meeting or a school improvement plan meeting, whatever kind of meetings you have, PTA meetings, anything, all of that can be shared this way. So no more paper. So the principal or the director could even make the meeting agenda first, send it out to everybody, all the staff members, and then when they come to the meeting, they can actually open it in Google Drive right on their device, their phone, whatever, and they can actually, if you allow them to edit, they can take notes in it and then save it to their own drive. So really amazing abilities there for that particular function. Okay, so I've showed you how to share folders. You right click and you hit the little share button and then you decide who you want to share it with. It's going to show you who you've already shared it with. You can add their names and email addresses and you can choose their permissions, whether they can edit or just view. And then you're going to grab that link. You can send it to them. It's also going to send them an email. So you decide how you want to do that. Okay. So we've talked about how to create a folder. That's just new, and then create folder. We've talked about how to view the folders, just double click on them. We've talked about sharing the folders. We've talked about uploading your files. If you have, I thought this was interesting, if you have files that are just sitting in your drive and you'd like to put them into a folder, all you have to do is just drag and drop them. Super easy. Okay, so I thought this next one was really, really, really cool. So I'm going to share it with you. This is revolutionary, but I cannot promise you that it is foolproof. So you're going to have to use a little common sense with this one, and you're going to have to test it out. So let's say you were writing a note to families. This is just a little example I typed up really quick. It says, "Dear pre-K families, welcome to Smith Elementary. We are so excited to have your child with us in pre-K this year." Super simple. Of course, let's say you had more words on there. And here's a question I get almost every day over at Pre-K Pages. How do I translate this? How do you communicate with your parents who don't speak English? And whether that's, you know, whether that other language they speak is Farsi or Vietnamese or whatever it is, you can translate this in Google Drive. I know it seems absolutely crazy, but you can do this. You're going to go to Tools and then translate the document. And now you're going to choose the language. Okay, look at that. That is amazing. Now they don't have Farsi, so they only, obviously, Gujarati would be one I would use a lot. So let's do Gujarati. And then translate it. And it even uses the characters. How cool is that? Now, I have no idea if this is correct or not. I did use an English word, which was pre-K, and I don't think that translated properly, but you could have a parent look at it and tell you, does this make sense? You know, does this make sense? So that is so amazing. It just blows my mind. So here, I would save it with whatever, with the language that you use to translate it, because I translated into Spanish earlier. So here's the Spanish version of it. And I do understand a lot of Spanish, and so this looks good to me. Yeah. So that one actually works pretty well. I would expect that one to work really well. Okay, so now we've learned how we can translate these documents. Now, if you wanted to, if this was finished, you could share it with your families, absolutely, if they have the ability, obviously, to access the internet. And these days, a lot of them, or most people do, regardless of their socioeconomic status. And if you read Ruby Payne's work, that will explain why, even though they might not be able to afford it, why they still have it. But if you wanted to share this, you could totally get the shareable link to this document, enter the names or email addresses of your families that you want to share it with. Like, say you only have 3 families who speak Spanish, then you could add those there. You're going to want them to only view it and then get that shareable link and send it to them. So super, super, super time-saving trick. Again, use your best judgment, because you can't guarantee that these translations are going to work as well as you might like them to. But I thought it was really neat that they had a lot of languages that you may not have accessible, you may not have a translator accessible for. And Gujarati is one I've used a lot in the past. So let me close these out. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is super cool. What if, instead of sending notes home to parents to get them to sign up for things or to send things in, what if you could send them a form? So I'm going to show you one I created, and then I'll walk you through showing you how it was done. So here's one that I've already created. And I called this one Fall Party. And I actually took the text from my Halloween party planning guide. So I already had the text done in a printable format, and I just transferred it into Google Docs here, into a Google form actually. So here is what it looks like now, and I'll walk you through how to make one. It's seriously simple. I mean, mind-blowingly simple. So here's how it looks. So I gave it a name, just like you would name any file that you ever have. I called it Fall Party. And I added my text right here, whatever I want to tell the parents what this form is about. It says, we'll be celebrating the arrival of fall in the classroom on Friday, October 28th. Our celebration will include fall stories, songs, games, and a snack. This is not a Halloween celebration, so please do not send your child to school in a costume on this day. And then I asked for donations. So right here it says, we're accepting donations of the following items for our celebration. If you can send one or more of these items, please fill out this form no later than, and then I give them a date. And then I just added all the things that we are accepting. And then I also added a, I can't contribute at this time type of a thing. And then all I need to do is send this to my families. So I would hit send, and you can just get the link if you don't want to enter all of these, or you can include the form in an email. So how cool is that? So I'm going to get the link, and then I can shorten this URL. So if you wanted to send it in a text, you can send this link to them however you would like to. Copy it to your clipboard. your notepad and just send it to them. They will fill it out and you will get responses immediately. And so I do this quite often at Pre-K Pages when we do our Q&As, our monthly Q&As here on Facebook Live. I send out a Google form like this to the followers on the Pre-K Pages Facebook page, and that's how I get questions submitted to me. So this is super, super cool. And now what it's going to do is save all this information to a spreadsheet. Okay, so as people respond, as your parents start responding with what they're going to bring, and of course you can organize this in any way you like. You can you know, put, you know, we only need 22 small paper plates. We only need, you know, this many juice boxes. You can customize that, of course. But as they start responding, it puts it into a spreadsheet so you can see exactly what is coming. And think of all the uses for this. The possibilities for this are completely endless. You can add a picture right here. It says add an image. You can add a video to this. So if you wanted to do a quick YouTube video explaining exactly what this party was about and how it's not really a Halloween party, you could do that. You can add another question. And then when you want to see the responses that the parents have left, you click here and it will show you those responses. So you can get an email notification every time someone responds. You can download the responses. You can select where the responses go. So super, super, super cool, okay? You can add an entire section. It is just absolutely amazing what you can do with Google Forms. Another good thing about the forms is that you can access the information right on your phone through your Google Drive app, okay? So you don't need to be sitting at a computer to either fill it out or to look at the responses. If you have that app on your tablet or your phone, you can see it there as well. So the applications for Google Forms are just really, really amazing. So let's make one together. So I'm going to hit New. And right here on the left, it does not show me Forms. So you have to go to More. Okay. Go to Forms, and it's thinking for a second, but it will bring it up in just a moment. There we go. You're going to want to give your form a name. So let's say, how does my child go home? So this might be something you would send parents. So think about those back to school, all those pieces of paper that we used to have for back to school that parents have to fill out. What if they got all of these as Google Forms before school started and it input all the information into a spreadsheet for you? And then you could just save it to your desktop if you had a computer in the classroom, or it's right on your phone. So if anything were to happen and you had an emergency, whether that was a lockdown drill or that was one time we lost power at our school for a whole day and we had to leave and go to another classroom because our room didn't have any windows. And so I needed to have all that information at my fingertips and I didn't have it. But if I had a Google Drive app on my phone, I could have accessed it right from there. So you could just tell parents to fill out this form with any transportation information. I'm just making this up as I go. So the first question is, let's say it's not a multiple choice. So here's the different ways that you can ask parents questions. You could make it a multiple choice answer like we did for the fall party. You can add check boxes. You can add a drop-down menu, any way that you want to do it. Let's try a checkbox. My child will go home. I'm just making this up, so let's do checkboxes. Car. Add another option, and I'm going to say by bus. Add another option. walk. Let's hope not. Let's do child caravan. Let's do after school program. So obviously you can see, you can keep adding any of these that you like. And then you can go in and now you can add another section or another question. So here, if bus, please include bus number below. And obviously I don't want multiple choice for that. I'm going to leave it as a short answer so they have to type the bus number in there. Now, if you only have 3 buses and you know all the bus numbers, put them in there as choices and they can select one. But and that'll be a sure way to know which bus they ride without any typos. Typos are really really prevalent these days because of phones and the keyboards. So I find that typos are on the rise, not because people are getting dumber, but because of the keyboards on the phone, and also, unfortunately, because of people doing it when they shouldn't be. So you can see how the possibilities for this are absolutely endless. So you could actually now get the link, and I'm going to make all of these required questions. Like this is a requirement. You must fill this out. Now, I won't make this one a requirement, I don't think, because if the child doesn't ride the bus, then if the parent doesn't put a number there, it won't let them submit the form. So we have to be careful with that. And then you're going to collect, of course, you can make this as long as you want. And you're going to, you know, who picks up your child? What is their contact number? You can see how I'm getting all of the information I can just add there by just hitting the plus sign for add question and then selecting how I want them to respond. So super, super, super simple. And then all of that information is going to be recorded in a spreadsheet for you that you can download. So you save that spreadsheet in your Google Drive. So you would save that information once parents start responding. You're going to save that information in that form and then put it here in your drive so that you can access that at any time, right? So super, super easy. Now, these are just a very few tips that you can use Google Drive for in the classroom as a teacher to save time. I've just touched the very tip of the iceberg, but already with just these few ideas, I think you can save tons of time. Oh, I wanted to show you the lesson plans. A lot of you have to submit your lesson plans to your principal electronically. So what a lot of schools are doing now, and this is so, so, so smart and such a time saver, instead of all teachers in the building, and if you work in a big school, you know, you might have 50 teachers or more in the building all emailing the principal with lesson plans. And the principal doesn't need any more email in his or her inbox. They get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day. So if each teacher had a lesson plan folder in Google Drive and they shared it with their principal, then all the principal would have to do, or the director, would be to log into Google Drive and then click on the folder that you have shared with him or her to look at the lesson plans. So if I want to share this with my principal, I'm going to hit share, and I'm going to enter that principal's email address right there. And I'm going to allow the principal to edit, because editing is a really cool feature because they can add comments and they can even add audio comments. So I'm going to pretend I did that. So now that folder is going to show up in your principal's Google Drive when he or she logs in under shared with me. So they can actually go in and look at your lesson plans. It does record the time that you uploaded them. So you want to be careful if you have a delivery time for those. They're going to see that. They can add suggestions. It's just an incredible tool for time saving and streamlining things. And if you have a newsletter that you want to send home, and of course a lot of us do that electronically these days, you can upload the newsletter right here to Google Drive, and then most principals want to see anything that gets sent home, or at least they used to. So you can upload this and then share that with your principal, and of course you're probably sending those home to your parents' electronically classroom this year using a Google Drive. I'm Vanessa Levin from Pre-K Pages, and I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. And I would like to give a special shout out to the members of the Teaching Tribe who are here with us tonight. Let me stop screen sharing so I can say goodbye. There we go. All right, I want to thank everyone for stopping by, and for all of our Teaching Tribe members, thanks again. We can continue this discussion over in the community in the Teaching Tribe. The Teaching Tribe is my membership site for teachers just like you, teachers of preschool, pre-K, Head Start, kindergarten, homeschool, in-home childcare, you name it. A place for teachers like you where you can have access 24/7 to all the printables from Pre-K Pages at your fingertips, a supportive community for asking and answering questions, a safe haven for teachers, and 2 webinars per month. Each comes with a certificate of attendance for 1 hour, plus other things like book studies and more. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you again next time. Remember, this is a regularly scheduled broadcast every Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great night.